Good morning, friends and enemies. Ooh, YouTube notification 8 minutes ago. Let's see. I said, well, if you haven't heard, the let's see, this is the headline. Tens of thousands at risk after dam destruction in Russia that affects Crimea, right? Says former Ukrainian minister. Okay, so my comment under that, this is on good old YouTube right here. Of course, not under Duck Taco, on another channel that I would use, that I use, that actually shouldn't be making these comments under. In my hockey channel, but that's where this, I happen to see the video. So, it says tens of thousands at risk, and they're worried about the Ukrainians. Listen, let me tell you a story, okay? Let me tell you a story about bullshit, okay? You get a bull, you feed it, right? Goes through their body. I don't know how that works. Not a doctor, especially not a bull doctor. And then he shits it out. And you know what that shit is? Ukraine. Now, let me tell you a story about Ukraine. They blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. And I hate Joe fucking. I mean, if you look on my channels and my videos, look at my shirt. Beware of Democrats. I have many Joe Biden shirts. I have the Buck Fiden hoodie. I have FJB with the music notes from Donald Trump Jr. specifically from his website. And then they, Stuttering John Melendez, that scumbag, you know what he did, which was really funny? He went and got one of those, they call it Dark Biden or whatever they call it shirt. That shirt was, they did that. I have that shirt, but it's Trump with his eyes. And I had that shirt for, I think even before he was elected president, Donald Trump. So now John Melendez, I know this, he hasn't been podcasting or whatever he does since last year or whatever, but he was making a big deal about his Dark Brandon shirt. He thought it's funny to, he doesn't know how to use the words properly. So when you want to steal a word back, like we said, all right, let's go Brandon, that meant fuck Joe Biden, right? Still means it. He takes Brandon, gets the shirt with, Joe Biden with the eyes like this. Now, first of all, who the fuck is going to believe that this old decrepit scrunt, and yeah, I made up a word, scrunt, write it down, Skrunt, double T. He's this old scrunt. Like, who would be scared of this man where you would put him on a shirt and to make him look powerful? Okay, we know he has no power at all. I have more power than him, literally and physically, but literally, he doesn't know where he is. So even if you're the president of the world, which is what the plan is for, the New World Order, for there to be a president or leader or a 1984-ish kind of president of the world, I guess you could call it. You could do it with Donald Trump because Donald Trump was tough. People were scared of Donald Trump. And I'm not talking about you or me. I'm talking about other countries were scared to do something stupid because Donald Trump don't fuck around. And the best part is, if you learn a lesson from anything in politics in the past 4 5, let's give it a little Obama time too, because Obama was a bomber, He literally should have just been driving, flying a jet around, just dropping bombs as he pleases. That's what he was doing for 8 years with Joe Biden at the helm as well. But the last 10 years should teach you something, that when you show your power, not try and act on your power, when you just threaten it, is much better than using it. Okay? President Donald Trump, and I don't care. Where am I pointing? I'm pointing at you. I don't care if you love him, hate him, don't have an opinion on him. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like any of the people I'm talking about right now or not. This is a point I'm making, okay? People blasted America. They hated America, especially the Middle East. They hate America the most. I'm even going to go back further, okay? We'll start with George W. Bush, okay? Because they're all the same. The only person that's different is President Donald Trump. Yes, he ran as a Republican, but I mean that you can't run for president in America unless you're a Republican or Democrat. You're not going to have a chance. So what choice does he have? Okay, seeing that Hillary Clinton was probably going to go run for president and win, Donald Trump's smart. He is very smart. Donald Trump's stupid. You know what? Look at your president. Look at your president, people. Tell me Donald Trump's stupid. Tell me. Go just look at this man right here. Go watch any day, random. I would choose. You could just choose a day at random. Say January 4th, 2022. Okay. Well, no. All right. March 16th, 2023. All right. We'll go to that date. 4:18 p.m. If I had a timer where I could click to that time, I guarantee you this man would be saying and doing something stupid. Okay. Now I know I get a little wrapped up in getting to the point. Not wrapped up, actually. I unwrap when I'm getting to the point. The point is, Obama dropped bombs on countries for 8 straight years. Him and Biden just killed innocent people left and right. That's a fact. It's a fact. I'm not even going to pull up anything to prove it. I have no reason to. Okay. Donald Trump came in and said, "We are America. If you mess around, we will destroy you." And no one did anything to them. No one did anything. Actually, the only things that happened were peace between South and North Korea, the Korean Peninsula. Nobel Peace Prize #1 for Donald Trump that he should have had. But no, Obama gets one for bombing countries. Literally. Just killing people. Okay. Then I think 5 or 6 Middle East countries made peace with Israel. Remember peace in the Middle East? I used to, I would hear that when I was a kid, I would hear that all the time. Peace in the Middle East, blah, blah, blah. And, that it was impossible and all this stuff. Well, you know what? With all the stuff that Donald Trump, President Trump, said and did in the 4 years he was in office, and all the people who were trying to stop every good deed, sometimes he made a bad decision. Everyone does. But most of them were good. 90%. His policy, when people sit down, every time, you could look at is it Turning Point, or no, it's not Turning Point. Campus reform. Okay, you go watch the campus reform videos. Actually, we might pull some up. and they pick up. They ask questions. I'm sorry for going, but whatever. They ask questions of people on the streets of campuses, obviously, and the way I mean, they're not trick questions, but they're also questions made to let you know the truth. So, for instance, what was one of them? Which one of these um, four mansions belongs to Donald Trump? I forgot how. You know what? Let me see if I can pull up campus reform. Just because I can't say it properly. They ask the questions and then they turn it. Oh, you know what? Here I could just say it like this. They'll go up to people and say, okay, um, they'll make a comment that sounds pretty racist, especially to today's generation. Anything sounds racist. They'll bring out the comment and say, so who said that? Who do you think said that? And they're not talking about in history. They're talking about right now. So someone said this yesterday. Who said that? Who said this? And they'll say something outrageous. Outrageous. And of course, every person they talk to goes, well, obviously Donald Trump said that. And now, of course, it was Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. And so waking these people up is very important. And you know what? We're gonna watch some of that. That's what we're gonna do this morning. If it allows me to get to the webpage. Okay. Students support diversity quotas until it comes to football. Let's see what else. Let me share this with you guys actually. I'm sorry. Wait, no. Add the stream. Okay. So we'll do it like this. We're at campus reform. Whoops. All right, so we're at campus reform. Let's find a what is coming up here? What is this? I didn't want Google Play. Who the fuck wants Google Play? All right, let's go to their questions. Alley Bestucky protests San Jose. There's a new inclusive way to spell women. What do students think? I like to go back to the good stuff. University of Buffalo protesters call Riley Gaines a sore loser. The police are pigs. And the U.S. is like 1936 Germany. New York students protest Sharice Trump speech? What? Why? She's not related to the Trumps, by the way. She's cool though. What are they doing? What they're doing is ostracizing the American college students aren't hippity hoppity about the idea of speech codes. All right, let's watch this real quick. This is just an idea of what they do. For instance, we'll get to better stuff. I'm sure. I haven't seen this, so it might be good, but you know what I'm saying. Let's check it out. I'll mute my mic in the meantime. Mute. I think pressing play might help.
Hi, I'm with Campus Reform at University of Maryland College Park, where I'll be asking students their opinion about university language guides. This year, Michigan State University implemented a language guide that asked students to censor their speech, including words such as bunnies and eggs, because it might offend non-Christian students. Let's hop to it.
They want them to not use the word bunnies and eggs. What? Let's hear this shit.
So we're just out here asking college students their opinions about certain university policies, something like speech codes. The university recently released a speech code policy that encourages students to self-censor their speech. They even suggest that you shouldn't use terms like bunnies or eggs. I'm just wondering, what do you think about that?
I think you should be able to use terms like bunnies and eggs.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's wild.
That first girl made
Well, why do you think
sense.
that's wild? Is it like a free speech concern that you guys have?
Yeah, just it feels weird. Not only to censor specifically those words, but just to censor any words in general.
I feel like eggs and bunny, they're like my top like two words sometimes. Like if I were to pick something to use in a sentence, eggs and bunny. Like
That's
they're
one and two.
that's
They're
one and two. Yeah.
So recently, the university released a language guide that encourages students to self-censor their speech. It says that you should avoid using terms such as eggs and bunnies. Do you find that goes a little overboard?
I think so, but it depends on the context of what they're being used for. If it's about Easter, then of course that's over the top.
So it specifically references that it wants people to avoid using those terms because it may offend non-Christians.
Okay, yeah, that's over the top because, first of all, we all have freedom of speech in the country, but considering it's non derogatory, even if it is private property, that's kind of overstepping on the bounds of what they should be censoring.
So it specifically references that it doesn't want students to use terminology that references Christian holidays. Things like merry or jolly references Christmas, and Easter eggs, bunnies obviously references Easter. So do you think that that kind of resonates an anti-Christian bias on campus?
I mean, maybe potentially, but I think everyone just has their own opinions. But I think everyone should be able to say what they feel, and they shouldn't be censored in an extreme way.
To say they don't want students saying things like eggs or bunnies because it might offend some people. And I'm just wondering, do you think that's offensive?
Not in the least bit.
So I have a basket full of eggs here. Like, do you find these eggs offensive?
No, not at all.
Encouraging students to refrain from using words.
That guy said it the best. Not in the least bit. And that wasn't some white chode like me. Okay? That was an immigrant man who they're pandering to with this crap in the first place.
Words like eggs and bunnies. Do you think that's a little overboard?
Actually, yeah, it is overboard. Especially because you're with me, I can't say anything else, but it is overboard.
Yeah, it's like really crazy, right? So if the terminology is kind of unoffensive to you, what about the costume and the eggs I brought with me today? Am I offensive?
No, you're great. You bring happiness to this campus.
So I kicked it up a notch by dressing like a bunny. You don't think I'm offensive, do you?
No.
It's actually
Notch.
quite funny, right?
Yeah.
Eggs here. You don't find me offensive, do you?
No, not at all.
It's actually quite funny, right?
A little bit, yeah. It could be if you, because you definitely stand out on campus.
Do any of these things here offend you?
No, but you scared me a little when I came up.
I'm not scary. I'm just a bunny.
A little scary.
Okay, so that's a campus reform video that was more
Hi, I'm with Campus Reform at University
sorry,
of
you know
Maryland
what
College
you know
Park.
what I
We'll all be
did?
asking
I changed my my keyboard, my pad, my touchpad. I changed it to instead of clicking it because the clicks were having I'm having this is a piece of crap computer I have, but I changed it to touch, and I keep messing things up by pressing things twice and stuff like that. So, all right. So let's go to videos and see what else we can find from. We want to go further back. I want to go back like a year on campus reform because um they have some good stuff. Like the ones where they were asking whose mansion is this? And they're asking Democrats and people they clearly are, gonna that hate Donald Trump. And they weren't necessarily pushing for Donald Trump. They're just trying to show people students do not want to cancel Valentine's Day. Of course they don't. This is 3 months ago. A lot of these videos are very short. So you know what? Let's hear. Why do they want to cancel Valentine's Day though? KFC, white supremacy, and the CCP, the latest mix and higher. Okay, the CCP is involved in everything. So, Damn, like someone outside must be smoking some good shit because I smell it, and unless it's from might be from my things here. I'm out. I'm dry as hell right this moment at 6:21 a.m. So I'm not smoking, but someone is because I smell it coming in. Also today, here in New York, I would assume New Jersey and all the Northeast. I guess the air quality is going to be very bad today. People are being told to stay inside from the wildfires coming from. Where do wildfires come from usually? They usually come from places that are shitty. And right now they're coming from shitty places like Canada. They seem to start with the C and an A too. California, Canada, wildfires. That for some reason they can't stop getting rid of. And you know why? Because all their little people that they got running around in their black outfits playing role playing and LARPing, they're setting these fires. And once they try and get one done, there's another one being lit. There's an ember laying before the bottom of a tree, and they put all the fire out and they go, oh, look at what we did. It's over. But that ember is sparkling as they say that. And the next day they're back fighting fires again. And what's really funny is what's really funny is my internet seemed to be not working properly. But okay, let's see the number one. Wait, why am I in this video? See, I didn't click this video. I gotta fix my mouse pad thing. Let's just scroll. Let's scroll to students only want leftist flags in the classroom. Okay, that sounds good. Let's watch that. Let me make it bigger. It seems like every time I come onto StreamYard and I come to, watch videos with well, no one's watching, but I watch the videos, people come watch the video whenever they have a chance.
Senior Pennsylvania
Whoa.
campus correspondent Logan Dubill went to the
if that was
University
my
of
volume
Pittsburgh
here or
and interviewed
yours.
students on what flags were appropriate in the classroom.
Let's just
Some were conservative, some were liberal. I'm Kate Herzl, and you're watching Hot Take.
Ooh, hot take.
Logan, it's great to have you on. Can you fill us in on what the students said back to you?
Of course. First of all, thank you so
Wow,
much for
he is
having
so
me.
bad
There
at,
was a
like,
recent
pretending to be
school board meeting in
genuine.
Wisconsin,
No
and they
offense,
kind of
campus
resulted in
reformer,
wanting
hot
to
takes.
ban all political messaging from the classroom. So I wanted to take this
I'm
concept and
sorry.
bring it
Let
to
me
the college
rewind
level.
this because
I went to
I
the
just
University of
skipped this guy who
Pittsburgh
is not a
classroom.
retard.
Back to you.
Of course. First of all, thank you so much for having me. There was a recent school board meeting in Wisconsin, and they kind of resulted in wanting to ban all political messaging from the classroom. So I wanted to take this concept and bring it to the college level. I went to the University of Pittsburgh with a couple flags from each side of the political aisle, and I wanted to see which flags students at the college level wanted to ban from the classroom. And to no surprise, those that had conservative values attached to them were the first to go. Students said that flags like the Let's Go Brandon flag and the Thin Blue Line flag should be banned because they're offensive and they aren't inclusive. However, the liberal-leaning flags like the Pride flags and BLM flags should be allowed.
Why do you think that some students were bothered by conservative flags, but not liberal?
I really think this has to do with what the word inclusive has become. To liberal students and liberal institutions, inclusivity only involves things that they agree with. And I think that they fail to realize that the things that they support, like the Pride flag, for example, isn't that inclusive. I was talking with a student there about Pride flags, and she said that they should be allowed in classrooms because they represent an inclusive and supportive space. When in reality, if you look at what Pride represents, it isn't that inclusive because there's so many religions out there that don't really agree with what Pride is all about. So students thought that pride flags in the classroom, there aren't any issues with that, but students who are a part of those religions who don't agree with pride aren't being included in that case, and I think that's definitely a problem.
When looking at your flags, one of them wasn't conservative and one of them wasn't liberal. It was the American flag. What were students' reactions to should the American flag be in the classroom or not?
I am glad you bring that up. It is one thing to want to ban something that has a definite political lining, but two students thought that the American flag was so offensive that it should be banned from classrooms. The flag that represents a country of opportunity and freedom, a flag that represents the country that they are living in, and they're, taking advantage of all the opportunities that has for us. And it's scary that the flag that just represents our country is, becoming a bad thing to these liberal students.
This is more than just flags, though. Conservatives are silenced for their viewpoints all the time. Have you experienced this personally on campus?
I've experienced this probably on a week-to-week basis at Point Park University. It all started freshman year. I had my door, written on and vandalized because of some of the conservative polls I was putting on there. Sophomore year, I had some, threats of doxing, also threats of violence against me for some of my conservative values that I've publicly posted on social media. And just last year, I had a lot of students on campus petition to get me banned because I said that there were only two genders. So I've definitely noticed a shift in behavior from people in my university community just because of my views. And I know I'm not alone with this, and it is an issue. People go to college to, one, get an education, and two, to learn about different perspectives. And when you're seeing students like myself who are treated differently because of their views, higher education just isn't serving its purpose.
Well, Logan, keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm Kate Herzl, and that was Hot Take.
So that was Kate Herzl with Hot Take. All right, so that's not the campus reform kind of stuff. Sorry, guys. That's not the campus reform type of stuff that I usually would see. We're going to go further. But speaking of thin blue line flags, I'm not going to unfold it, but this is one. I know I'm in a blur, but I have 20 or 30 of these. If anyone wants one, please leave a comment below. They're about 3x3, maybe. So, anyway, let's get back to campus reform and see what other videos they got going on. Students only want this in the classroom, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. But I want to go back to campus reform. And anyone who's watched me on my other channels before that have, of course, been sidelined for the moment, which is why I have this channel called Duck Taco, which I actually love the name Duck Taco. If you like the name Duck Taco and you happen to be watching this, let me know if you like the name Duck Taco for, the Duck Taco podcast or just everything. I'm just going to go by the name Duck Taco. And I heard those two words and together like last week or something, and I was like, that's funny. Like, they weren't talking about the food, like duck meat on a taco. It was like, I don't know how it was said, but the word duck and taco came together and it just caught me by surprise. But everyone else who was listening didn't catch that because it made sense. I was more intrigued as to what the hell they're talking about regarding a fucking duck taco. All right, I want to go to playlists here and see what we got. Triggered Students Hall of Fame. this is exactly what we want to watch. And it's the playlist. So I'm just going to let it go. And we're going to pause and watch as we go. Oh, student freaks out. Dartmouth College, Black Lives Matter. Oh, this is going to be good. Okay, let's watch this shit.
Snowflake mentality is one that resorts to trigger warnings, safe spaces, things of that nature that we don't necessarily.
Great student.
We believe in freedom of thought, and we believe that you should be able to voice your opinion without being shut down by the other side, like we've seen at campuses.
My family has not amassed enough wealth since they came out of chattel slavery to literally pay for my education, so I go into debt and I graduate with a huge amount of debt when my white counterparts do not. White people go
I would like to make something clear, very clear, because this first video triggered me. Trigglypuff 2.0, they call this one at Kentucky University. I've said it in other videos, but I don't think I've ever mentioned this on Duck Taco, okay? My grandparents, rest in peace, Enrico and Antoinette. They were kidnapped as children, okay? So, I don't know my great-grandparents from my father's side because we don't know what they were born as. They didn't know their real birth dates. They were kidnapped and brought to Africa. I'm not sure how old they were, but they were under 5. So they were born in the 30s. So this happened in the 30s. They grew up as slaves in Tunisia, which is northern Africa. I don't want to hear it that Tunisia isn't an all-black country or whatever, because that's not the point. I'm not talking about black people, because everything that people say to people such as the people that we're seeing here in these videos, everything you say to them somehow goes back to something racial for them, okay? And I'm not even going to get racial when I tell you my grandparents were kidnapped from Italy and France. My mother was in France, in Marseille, my grandmother. My father was in I forgot I can't really say it. The town in Rome where he built the house. Yeah, we have a house in Rome, Italy. Not in Rome, Italy, outside of Rome, Italy. That's built of all marble. My grandfather built it after he the story I'm going to tell you. My grandfather built this house in the area where he was kidnapped from. So he and my grandmother were kidnapped. As they grew into their 20s, they were slaves in Tunisia, doing labor. They were labor slaves. My grandmother was not some sort of house servant. She was a labor slave like my grandfather. They met. They got married. Unofficially, of course. And then my grandmother got pregnant. Now, who do you think she got pregnant with? Some random dude? Nope. That was my dad. My dad. So my father was born into slavery in 1956. May 2nd, 1956 to be exact. Okay, when all y'all say that slavery, ended, blah, blah, blah. No, Africa still has slavery to this day. There's more slaves in Africa right now on June 7th at 6:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time than there ever were in the history of slavery in the United States. The United States is the last country in the world that brought slavery. Slavery has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. The United States of America is only a few hundred years old. Okay? So when you want to talk to Americans about slavery, because it seems like American slavery, which was the best of all slavery, I mean, slaves were not treated well anywhere. And I'm not saying they were treated very well here, but they were treated much better here. And another point is, and a lot of people get pissed when I say this, but I do not care because it's true. If a lot of the people, well, first of all, let's just get this out there. 99.9999. I've said it like this before, with a bar over it. If you know what that means, you got to go to school to remember this stuff. 99.9999% with a bar over it. People who go, I'm an ancestor of slaves. I need reparation. They are not ancestors of slaves. There are very few ancestors of actual slaves. The first slave owner in America, well, I'm not going to get deep into him, but I'll tell you, he wasn't a white man. He was a black man who bought other black people, and he started it. So what do you think about that, ma'am, if I may call you that? Get back to this nut job.
Like, that's what I gotta deal with going to class as a black female at the University of Kansas. I gotta deal with walking by a white
I remember.
safe space sticker.
I remember this.
Yes, we share space. So regardless if you guys think that freedom of speech allows you to spew hatred, it isn't allowed. There's something, matter of fact, since you look things up, Title IX is probably pretty key for y'all to look up. My pronouns are they. They.
So from now on, when you refer to them, you use they, them, their, because we've shown you the respect.
Title IX is probably pretty key for y'all to look up.
I just wanted to rehash this part right here.
My pronouns are they. They.
So from now on, when you refer to them, you use they, them, their, because we've shown you the respect.
My pronouns are
so
they.
From now on, you will
That
refer
makes
to them
no
as
sense.
they, because that is the appropriate thing to do when you are above the age of fucking 12.
Oh, let's go back and listen to this asshole. Which wait, find out. I want to find out. I want to find out which guy in this room is saying this stuff right here after she says her black, script. I just call it the black script now. I have plenty of people. I grew up where I was the minority. Okay, in New York, in Brooklyn and Queens, New York. I was always the minority. I can tell you that races of darker tones are way more racist than white people. I have grown up around both, and I don't go into a house with my family members of all white people for, let's say, Thanksgiving or Christmas, and leave there 8-9 hours later remembering hearing one racist thing said about anyone or anything. I can go into any house on any occasion, doesn't have to be a holiday, if there's 3, 4 or more black people, if one or two of them have even a 1/10 the quarter attitude like this woman has, almost their whole day revolves around them playing a victim, but then also walking in stride like they are invincible. So which one is it? Okay, now I'm getting pissed off. Which one is it? Are you this goddess that walks the streets and is beautiful and independent and all this? Or are you a victim? Pick one. You cannot be both. And a lot of you are. You're a victim of your own mind because you look and sound like idiots. And then this white guy, white knighting, he's obviously, an RBQ, I don't know, what do they call them? AT&Ts? What are those people called?
Pronouns are they. They.
So from
He's
now on, when you refer
mansplaining
to
also.
them, use they, them, their, because we've shown you the respect to refer to you by your name. So from now on, you will refer to them as they.
That was mansplaining at its best. She should call him out for that, of course, by their rule.
The appropriate thing to do when you are above the age of fucking 12.
Fucking 12.
And you can stand there and smirk, we can take it from you. That's what y'all failing to realize. People of color, marginalized identities, we can take it from
You can't take shit.
you. That's what y'all
You
think.
can't even build that. You know what? What I'm gonna say right now might sound racist. It might, but it's a fact. Okay. God damn every video. I didn't even come back to show you what it was being, because I knew I was coming right back. Okay. You know what? Let's watch that again so I could reevaluate what I was about to say.
When you are attacked about your privilege, and I'll even say attacked because
No, we're gonna go back.
white fragility, that's academic term too, not opinion. Okay, look it up. White fragility,
How far did I?
take it from you.
Oh,
That's
here
what
we go.
y'all
Here we go. Here
thinking.
we go.
See that people of color, marginalized identity, we can take it from you. That's what y'all thinking. See, that's privilege. I'm sure you're the okay. That's called white fragility as well.
White fragility. Look at this guy right here.
I'm sure you're the okay. That's
Look at this. Am I on screen here with this? Okay. Just want to make sure. This guy right here in the corner. How do you think he feels? He's looking at this woman like, shut the fuck up. This man right here, this girl, this woman looks like, you know. Why is there a car outside my house? Okay, this woman looks like she's one of those nut jobs. And I love how they called this Trigglypuff 2.0. But this guy I don't think is in on it. I haven't been able to figure out which guy is the gay guy that was mansplaining. But let me rehear this first.
That's called white fragility as
So
well.
then my question is, you say freedom of speech.
It's called white fragility. That's academic.
Rest of the letter.
Not opinion.
See, I did it again.
My question is, you say freedom of speech.
It's called white fragility. That's
what is the
academic
rest
term
of the
too,
letter?
not opinion.
What is the
Okay,
rest?
look it up. White fragility, defensiveness when you are attacked about your privilege. And I'll even say attacked because of the tone I'm talking to you in. Like I said, white fragility. Look at the fuck up. You do care about your whiteness.
Why do we need to look things up? I hate that one. I'm not gonna go make an argument. Look at the position this woman's in. Okay, first of all, if you were under her in this moment, you would need to be hospitalized for shock, fright, fear. I don't know, but I would need some mental help after this woman. If I was under her, if I was happened to be on the table here, laying down, and she was over me, I would feel like something something bad happened. That's just me. Because this woman's nuts, and she's got someone. Now, again, I'm going to put my face up on the screen just to show you. Whenever these people do things like this, they'll say something outrageous, and they know there's at least one or two people around them that will nod with them. Some might even vocally, like the dude in this video who mansplained her. She didn't call him out for mansplaining. I wonder why. A little odd, don't you think? But the point is, if there's one other person in the room, the first thing they do, because when you when you're confident in what you're saying, you don't need approval from other people around you. But what she'll do is she'll go, "That's racist, right?" And she'll say the word right, not her. I'm saying people in general that do things like this. They'll end it with right, and they'll also look for the people that will agree with them. And then you'll probably see in a video that I'm going to play in the next few minutes. It's one of these videos. It happens all the time, where where an easy question will just stump one of these people, and they'll look at their friends and say, "Why don't you handle this?" And then the person usually goes, "No, I asked you," because they don't have answers. They have a collective answer. It's all about collective, which doesn't work because there will always be people who are going to be like, "I'm not into this. I'm, mutiny," things like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back. You can go back far in history and find these same kinds of things happening. Now let's listen to the rest of this annoying fucking pig.
You're trying to save it. What's this group saying? Safe spaces shouldn't exist.
It's not your right to say that safe spaces should not exist.
It's not your right. It is not your right to say that safe spaces should not exist on this campus. What do you mean it's not his? Get the fuck out of here.
My intellectual safe space is the idea that you can't retreat from today.
I'm not retreating. I'm making myself safe and comfortable.
That's fine. You're living.
What are you doing as a white person who has the privilege to walk into a classroom and be automatically respected because you were born with a dick?
We deserve benefits because you enslaved us for 400 years. It's called accommodation for the disenfranchised. Your ancestors, and you still reap the benefits. You still reap the privilege of the genocide of Native Americans and the slavery.
People are not illegal. People make
They're undocumented. They don't have the money.
You have all of guys gender term.
It's a fucking microaggression. Okay, I'm tired of hearing this crowd of idiots. So we're gonna move to the next video. I hope. Is there a way to just skip to the next video? Yes, I am experiencing interruptions, but I don't want to find out why right now. What's in Dartmouth College? Black Lives Matter. Let's see this. Black Lives Matter. 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 You see how chanting these chants? Okay, if you want someone to listen to you, okay, oh, wow. It's so hard to go into deep into things like this. This is not the way to get people on your side, to interrupt their day, make them late for work, attack them in the streets, label every person that's white something. I mean, these are the terms that they use on their victim cards. They use back. Not back, because their victim card terms are usually bullshit. If you say the wrong word, for instance, I wish I could show it to you right now. I don't think it's here, but I had a two. What are these things called? This that people would usually wear in the winter just to cover their necks and their face, but people were using them for COVID. One of these. I had one of those, and what it does is it makes you look like a monkey. It has, you could fold it up properly, and you have the nose and it's like a monkey face, and it's just funny. Now, people who see that, okay, they see that on my face, and I have had people say to me, I'm racist for wearing this. And I say, why? Well, of course, the reason is that I'm racist and I'm doing, something racist by wearing a monkey thing. See, the thing is, the person who says these things, the person who said that to me, that happened twice with that. Both of those people were not even dark-skinned people. They were white, telling me I'm a racist. So in their mind, when they see a monkey, they're thinking about black people. I didn't put it on thinking that I'm going out in blackface. I put it on because it was January and in a blizzard in New York. Simple as that. I'm not a mask wearer. Never was. I have an autoimmune disease. I did not trust anything. And when you have an autoimmune disease, you're very aware of your body and how things go. And I didn't trust blocking the airflow into my. I wanted to take breaths of fresh air. Okay, so I was not masking up. I know you can take a breath of fresh air with a mask on, but you understand what I'm saying. I was not going to block my airway. Look how many children is destroyed. It happens to adults too. before that pandemic, we had enough of these nut jobs, and then after it, see, the thing is, after it is a funny term because to some of them, it's still going on. Unfortunately, I have a relative who is suffering from, I guess you could say, COVID delusion, where he lives in Queens, New York, and to this day he cannot function, cannot leave his apartment. Um, he was even gonna go with his I don't know if his girlfriend's with him anymore, but I would hope not if he doesn't want to leave the apartment. But he he was gonna go upstate and live, ride it out upstate New York, where the cases are very low and people have acres of land in which they had to go on. Our family has many acres of land. Live in a little house with his girlfriend and just stay there until it calms down. But he was too scared to go outside to get in the car to take the ride there. So he couldn't even get there. That's how sick people got from this. And they knew it. They knew it because it was released. And remember, I said it in the last one. And I know not many people are going to see this because my channels have been blocked for a certain amount of time, so I can't upload there. But Duck Taco, I am going to keep maybe for my live. Duck Taco is going to be my live video section. That's what I figured it'll be. I just got to let other people know. But either way, yeah, it got so bad that he wouldn't even leave the area that was dangerous to get to a safe area because of the in between. And today, still again on June 7th at 6:53 a.m., he is in that apartment. Doesn't even trust the DoorDash guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad. So, let's get into what's gonna go on in this video here. I have no idea. This is just all I know is this is a Black Lives Matter protest and something happens. It's only a minute 37.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Stinky.
Black Lives Matter!
Criminals.
Black Lives Matter!
Violent.
Black Lives Matter!
Murderers.
Black Lives Matter!
Idiots.
Black Lives Matter!
Can't build a house.
Black Lives Matter!
Mud huts.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Do you think Black Lives Matter?
Okay, I think I'm gonna just skip on this video because I'm pretty sure all we're gonna watch. Wait, no, I lied. I want Okay, so that's the trick question. Do you think Black Lives Matter? Yes, I think they do. And I'll tell you why they do. Black Lives Matter for many reasons. I started that out like it's like my like I'm writing a paper for high school. You know, the World War II happened for many reasons. Reason one, no. But the question that they say when they say, do you think Black Lives Matter? Of course they do. Every life matters. I think grasshopper lives matter. Not saying I haven't stepped on one or two in my life. You understand what I'm saying? Where's white lives matter to all the people who well, actually no. Back up. Let's leave I'm not even white, by the way. You guys don't know. They don't know. Like I said, I'm an African American technically. My family's from Africa. So stick it up your ass. But let's see. White, black, Asian. What about Asian lives matter? I don't think the black people would like that one because it might expose. I don't know if you've heard a lot about Asian hate and stop Asian hate. but it's very specific to the people who are attacking Asian people, especially in my state, New York. You're not going to see me on the subway, which you might see me on the subway wearing a shirt that says "Beware of Democrats" with my Adidas hat on. Whatever. I can't boycott everything right now. I don't have money to buy. Adidas needs to be boycotted right now. Sorry, can't do it right now. My own. I grew up as a huge Devils fan, hockey, New Jersey Devils. Obviously, I have a whole. That's how I started. My internet thing. I'm a huge Devils fan, and the Devils. For instance, this is a shirt that they won't sell anymore. This is a Devils shirt. Tell me why they won't sell it. And I have hoodies. I have two of them. One of them I'm sending out to Texas, and the other one I wear. It's the Devils logo with the American flag. But they got ones with the pride flag on it now. That American flag one, gone. So even my own favorite hockey team that from a young age was the first thing that got me into something, got me into sports. And sports are very important for children. It keeps them out of trouble. You got to remember, kids who have practice after school and have a game on the weekends, and it's important to them. They're not going to go out and do stupid things, like go with 10 of their friends and run into a gas station, demolish it, steal everything, and laugh and say, gang, gang. Okay. That's how you get out of it. Go play football. I know it sucks. Football's boring, just like the rest of the sports. That's why I like hockey, because it's not boring. It's continuous and it's fun. Of course, my opinion. I don't have a problem with people who like football. I don't have a problem with people who like baseball. Basketball, we got to talk. But, people in the NBA are, Black Lives Matter. What do you mean Black Lives Matter? Where the fucking NBA is all black. The NFL and the MLB a lot of the black guys, they're Hispanic. They look black. There's only one sport that's dominated, major sport that's dominated by another race, and that's hockey. And I happen to be doing a video on the history of the African American, African Canadian players that have played for the New Jersey Devils. I'm making a video on that now because it's Pride Month, so I'm going to make it Black History Month. Because Pride Month needs to go. Black History Month needs to go. There shouldn't be a month for anything. Just like what's the guy? The guy, the voice. The black guy, he's got the brown things on it under here. And he goes, "Do you want his Jewish History Month?" And the guy goes, "No." And he goes, "Well, I don't want a Black History Month." And it makes sense. You're gonna relegate my history to 1 month. That's what it was said in that interview. Morgan Freeman. And it made sense. Don't relegate any month to anything. Okay? If you want to celebrate Pride, listen, Pride is sexual in its nature. The first thing about Pride is the word sex. Without any sexual connotations, Pride doesn't exist. So when you take let's take the word pride and turn it into the word sex, because that's where it leads to. That's what it's about. Then you take the pride, would take the sex, and then you take children, and then in between that you got my head, right? But now you're taking the head out and you're putting it together and you're rubbing together two things that don't need to be rubbed together, and not only do they do that, but when they get called out on it, they don't say, you know what, that was a bad idea. Children should be children. No, they triple and quadruple, quintuple them down on these things. Actually, the drag queens who want to read to 3-year-olds, they were, they were still able to come to the library and read the books to kids, but they made it so the kids were like 6 to 10 or something like that. And guess what? Guess fucking what? Just guess. Just think about it for a second. They didn't want to do it because the 3-year-olds wouldn't show up. That's a sign. That's sick. Something's wrong there. We need to change this. Now let's watch these fucking animals. Is that all they're gonna do? Yeah, I don't want to keep hearing them. I'm gonna skip to their next video, which is student freaks out about Trump sign. Okay, perfect. Sounds about a good way to end this live stream, and then I'll be coming back in about an hour. I gotta go get my doggy and bring him out. Well, not out. He doesn't pee outside yet. He's only a few days at the house. He pees and poops on the wee wee pads, like a good little boy. His name is Gino. I did post him up on Devil's Joint, my hockey channel. If you are a hockey fan, you don't have to be a Devils fan. There's a lot of documentaries. Obviously I didn't make the documentaries, but I post because none of my channels are monetized, so I post documentaries about the hockey, the history. I have a lot of hockey memorabilia, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, go for it. Now, let's see what goes on here. Oh, I remember this. Western Washington University.
This is what happens when you don't take your meds.
Good point.
This is why I don't believe in the legalization of marijuana.
Well,
This is exactly why I don't believe in the legalization of marijuana.
I don't
right
even,
here on the Western Washington.
I'm going to tell you right now,
She's
marijuana does not do this to people. Of course, I'm not on the side of this woman whatsoever, but I am chronically ill. Just this lighter, if you know any better, will tell you that I use marijuana for medical purposes. Of course, before legally I could do that, I used it anyway because it is pretty much, you can never say 100%, but it's pretty much harmless. And I have Crohn's disease. So if you go look up Crohn's, just type into Google, which I don't trust. I use Free Spoke and DuckDuckGo. If you try either of those or any of them, because they're not hiding this information on Google. If you just type in Crohn's disease, marijuana, just type those 3 words, you'll come up with millions and millions of things where the studies show that marijuana is the number one thing to help the symptoms of Crohn's disease. So when I was 9 and 10 years old, I was given Marinol pills, which is THC. They're like little gel caps with the THC gel in them, I guess. I don't remember how they worked or whatever. I was young, but I've also been put on painkillers at 13, major painkillers. And at 15 I was started on Xanax. So a lot of doctors got me good early in my life. It did cause a lot of turmoil in my life, which has changed. I do still take certain medications. I have to take a mild pain medication, narcotic. I also have to take I take Klonopin. Sometimes I take Xanax. I do have a panic disorder, and the doctor says that, when you have not my doctor, but doctors that speak to me say that I should be on Xanax, which I was for many years, but my current doctor doesn't think it's a good idea because of other medications I take and mixing them with the painkiller. So changed me to Klonopin, which it works. If anyone out there has anxiety problems, Klonopin works. Don't argue about them. Don't argue if you're only going to argue if you want to get high. Okay, about if to the doctor, if he says I'm going to give you some Klonopin, you go no no no, I only can take Xanax. That's not true. Klonopin will work. It's longer lasting, but it's just not for if you have panic attacks. If you have panic attacks that come on suddenly, you need something that works quickly. So for instance, this morning, I took 1 milligram of Xanax and 1 milligram of Klonopin. That's the best way for me to go about it. And if something happens throughout the day, I don't have Xanax all day to, not obviously not all day, but I don't have Xanax to take every time I have a panic attack. So I have to hope that the Klonopin that I've already taken at it, its scheduled time gets me through it. And it doesn't. It gets me through the day because I was strictly my anxiety became social. I went from being on stage. I used to do stand-up comedy. I'm a musician. I was on stage all the time, singing, playing my instruments, all different instruments in front of small, big, medium-sized crowds, no problem. And then I somehow gained some social anxiety, and those things were causing problems for me. The Klonopin helps that. So I don't need, if I was to go up, if I had a concert tonight and I was, I had a show and it was 5,000 people, and I take my Klonopin at regular times, I'm fine to go do that now. I don't need to take a Xanax right away because it's not a panic attack. It's just something I'm doing. So that's just way off the topic of what's going on here with this nut job. Just figured I'd let people know from experience. If anyone's having trouble with that kind of stuff, you can leave me a comment and we can email, talk about it if you like. I'm always willing to help another person in need.
Going nuts. Except for this one. With the Trump sign, she doesn't like the Trump sign.
Oh no, you're good. Because it sounds really, I thought something was wrong. Yeah, I'm cool though. But no one else
You see how this girl, who's probably got the same mindset as her, just isn't at the point yet where she acts like a nut, and she wanted to know if the girl was okay. Now today, this same girl would walk right past this girl, and if anything, she would go say, "What did they do to you?" Not, "Are you okay?" She would immediately go to become to point this screaming woman over a sign to be a victim.
She's anti-Trump.
I don't think it's appropriate to have her screaming though.
Yeah, that's her decision, not mine.
The girl tells the guy it's not appropriate to have her screaming. She's pissing off more of the people that work at the school than anyone. This is great, actually.
It's not fucking art.
This apparently is an art, folks. This an art major. She's an art major. Art is really going downhill. The arts are really going downhill. The arts are going downhill,
They
folks.
sure
This is an
are.
art major.
Let's see what this says. 1,000 professor lead students and walk out to mobilize against Trump. What?
Stop antagonizing people and instilling hate.
These are the ones I remember.
Because I can catch these heads.
We're not attacking anyone. There's no
Wait,
attack.
let's see what.
Come together.
Let's go back.
Attacking anyone.
No,
There's
no, before that, let's start this over. I want to hear that again.
Stop antagonizing people and instilling hate.
Because I can catch these heads.
We're not attacking anyone. There's no attacking. There is come together.
Yes, this is how we feel. You, if you voted for Trump.
Talking with our friends and family about racism, which might be useful for the white folk in the crowd.
See how it's not a
who
black
don't
woman?
want
That's
their
a Black Lives Matter person.
family members
Standing there.
during
Wait.
What was your reaction when you saw the news that Donald
Let me get my face out of there for a second.
Well, first,
and let's go back to this.
which might be useful
Heather
for the
Hacks,
white folk in
Townsend
the crowd
Sociology's
who
apartment.
talk to their
White
Republican
woman standing in
family
front of the Black
members
Lives Matter
during
sign.
Thanksgiving.
what was your reaction when you saw the news that Donald Trump had been elected?
Well, first, I cried. And then I had like a little panic attack.
I, that night, cried myself to sleep in my boyfriend's arms.
Had a hard time getting out of bed for a little while. Like
I woke up that morning and cried with him for another 2 hours.
So I cried.
I had a panic attack the entire day.
I talked to my mom the next day on the phone, and I was just like bawling on the way to school.
Brought mace for the first time Wednesday morning.
I decided on the day that Trump won that I'm leaving in a few days for Standing Rock.
So my response to Trump supporters on this campus is that there is no common ground. The common ground is the progressive ground that we are standing on.
My birth control is free. Thank you, Obamacare. My undocumented ass has been here at Towson for 2 years now.
Say that again? Say that
Do you
again?
accept the results of the election?
No, because if I
Let's hear that again.
My undocumented ass has been here at Towson for 2 years now.
My undocumented ass is
Undocumented ass has been here at Towson for 2 years now.
Do you accept the results of the election?
no, because if I gave him a chance, that mean I'd be giving him a chance to build walls.
When Donald Trump said that he wasn't going to accept the results of the election if he lost, there were a lot of people that said how un-American that was. So for you to say you don't accept the results of the election, do you feel like it's a little hypocritical?
Give me a second to like form a thing to that. Yeah.
Give me a second to form it.
And would you want the Trump supporters, if they lost, to give Hillary a chance?
These are the ones that I wanted to watch
I mean,
because
Donald
he tricks them. He doesn't even do it. It's not even tricking them. He's just asking them normal questions, but a normal question to these people is a trick question to them because they're not thinking straight. They're being
Trump's
indoctrinated.
not accepting the election would have turned into like, Donald Trump's not accepting the election would have turned into like a swarm of hate crimes and riots probably.
Really?
I've seen a lot of riots in a lot of cities.
Yeah, even just like wearing a t-shirt and going up to people and saying things to them. I mean, that
Is that hate?
if you know, so I guess it's kind of like wearing a swastika on your shirt.
They don't need white guilt.
What?
Okay? I know y'all feel guilty. You should because you did this. I don't care about white feelings right now.
I know my professors always like to push against Trump.
I stand here as a business professor. I stand here also as an out, proud Latina lesbian.
Who cares if you're
How you were that a student that
Latina?
was on the fence might say, well, my professor is speaking at an event. It's kind of endorsing these words by speaking at this event.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that now, because I spoke at the event, I have to make sure people understand who are my students, what was my message, and not have somebody else interpret my message
So
for
now
me.
she's gonna bring this whole thing into her classroom.
Are they?
We're watching this happen live. How the school's changed live right
Have
here.
you spoken at any Trump rallies, or did you speak at any Trump rallies this year?
I haven't spoken at any rallies.
Okay.
I spoke here today.
Get your rosaries out my f***ing ovaries. Yeah, rosaries out my.
I spoke here today.
Get your ovary. Wait.
I spoke here today.
Get your rosaries out my fucking ovaries.
Yeah, I reject the president-elect.
I reject the president-elect. Listen to this is mental illness, my friends. This is what is this one? Storm Library. Oh man, protest Storm Library at University of Michigan. Here we go. If they didn't want fascism or KKK, why do they want Joe Biden? You know, if you walked up to them and said, "Hey, did you know that?" Now, remember, in the KKK, the Grand Wizard is the number one, the head honch, right? Grand Dragon is just a position. But Joe Biden gave the eulogy at the Grand Dragon of the KKK's funeral, as well as Hillary Clinton said that he was her mentor. So they say no KKK, no fascist USA, okay? Let me put myself here. I don't implore. I am begging anyone, not specifically that were at that, because obviously there's only a few people there. Anyone who right now sees what I just saw, that chanting of no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA, I would like you to agree, and I'm not giving you a week, to agree to come on here. You don't have to be on, your face doesn't have to come on. You can call in on a very small channel. Well, it's a little bigger than this one because my channel will probably be up in the next day or two, but not many will see it. But I would like you to tell me what Donald Trump did, first of all, before he ever became president, to be a fascist. Second of all, what he did during his presidency, because all he did was the opposite of fascism, the opposite of authoritarianism. Then they cheat. You know, not many people voted for Joe Biden, but a lot of computers did. And journalists have been banned, censored. That's fascism. The state and the tech companies are working together. And thank God for Elon Musk, who kind of changed that a little bit. But I'm sorry, people pull in front of my house, and at the time in the morning, I question who they are. Joe Biden, his whole administration is not. I'm not saying his whole administration, but if you don't like fascists, you shouldn't be out there stumping for Biden. I mean, you got to make a little sense. I mean, you know, What do you gonna do? Think about it for 5 minutes? That's all you need to do. Think about reality for 5 minutes. That's it. Just think about the truth and what's really happening around you for 5 fucking minutes.
All right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No, all right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No, all right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No, all right, no fascist USA. No, all right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No, all right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No, all right, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Ironically,
No, all right, no.
see that sign there?
No KKK.
Ready?
All right, no KKK, no fascist USA. No. All right, no.
Whatever, that sign says history has its eyes on you. Yeah, it sure does. But that sign is meant for the people walking with that person, not for the people watching it or the people that they're talking about. Hillary attempts to shut down Trigglypuff. Oh, so this is where I believe Steven Crowder. This is Trigglypuff, Steven Crowder. So definitely watch this.
What Milo meant to say, what I'm going to explain, you will be pleased. What Milo meant to say
Milo
is that
Crowder, there she is.
a noble and valiant, courageous movement. There are certain schools of thought that are somewhat unwholesome, right, Milo?
No, I meant it was canceled.
All right, I am here to provide some adult supervision. Apologize. Calm down, young lady. The correct word for contemporary third wave campus feminism is not cancer, but
Yes, it is.
madness. Utter madness.
Okay, that too.
Now listen, this is very important. Future historians are going to look back at what excluding true women of
You just told her to shut up. Is
future
that?
generations will look back.
One more disruption, we have to ask you to leave the venue.
My free speech!
You have to obey the rules of the venue.
But this is free speech if you're so concerned.
He doesn't even know what free speech is.
Madness.
You see how they actually have to steal the words of someone else? Someone else like, get your hate speech out of this campus, and that's what she took on.
To understand what happened on the American campus this decade. We have campuses across the country. You have armies and voices, please. Calm down.
Stop talking to us like children!
Stop acting like a child.
You see what they do is, and even in this video with Trigglypuff, right? You got Trigglypuff, you got the one guy with the arm going up behind him, and then you got maybe one or two seem to be men all the way in the back because they run as fast as possible to get the fuck out of there because they're scared little bitches saying things. You know, the whole place is filled with people that want to listen. This one fucking, let's see, what does she got in her mouth? Is that an Oreo? Nutella. I think she got just a big spoonful of Nutella and fluff in her mouth and her chin. Is that a face? Is there a face under that? Anyway, there's only like 4 people here disrupting, right? Like, but they make it sound like so much more. And there's clapping also, but the clapping is for the woman speaking. If you pay attention, this video is very old. I've seen it thousands of times, literally. and I've gone over it and dissected it more than anyone should have to.
Speakers are not only disinvited, but when they're invited, people come in to disrupt. They don't want others to hear.
Hillary supporters triggered by Trump signs. Trump wall at Penn State. Okay.
You're welcome to take that if you want.
We're just trying to peacefully.
Let's get her on the video.
That's all right. Am I gay? I'm part of the LGBT community. So you're not an ally. You're gay. Yeah. What does he do for gay people? What does Hillary do for gay people? She at least pretends to do stuff. I mean, she didn't start to do anything until she did this rally. That's my only opinion.
That hasn't been proven.
Okay. Are you gonna rip it out?
I mean, has it gone to court for it? No.
You don't need to go to court.
You don't need to go to court to be convicted. You don't need to go to court to be convicted. That's not yours. That's not yours. That's not yours.
You can't
It's not
touch
yours.
it.
It's not yours.
There's always a certain race of people who do the violence or cause the violence to erupt. Always the same ones. Always.
We got it.
It's not yours. It's not yours.
And this video is over here, so I've been going for an hour and a half on this one. What I'm gonna do is I am going to go take care of the dog and the kids. Moderation observance, build a positive live tracks for interviewing your viewers, choosing and participate. I don't know why that popped up. I apologize. It's supposed to play my music. All right, so I'm not doing my outro. I will be back as Duck Taco. Browsing the www might change. We will see. I will be back with a fresh cup of cafe con leche. We will watch more of these idiots. And in the meantime, I will probably think of some better idiots that we can watch. So let me go get the dog. I'm going to end the broadcast, but I will be back live here at Duck Taco. I think today's the last day that Media Odyssey is blocked from posting and stuff. So today's the last day of Duck Taco, but Duck Taco will not be the end. Duck Taco will be the beginning. It was a viewer of my hockey channel gave me this account when he saw that I had trouble with my other one. He told me the password for this account and let me just take it. So thank you. And obviously no one's watching, but you'll see it soon, baby. I'll be back.